Hello guys, welcome back to another Commander Tips video. This week we're going to be looking back at previous Ravnica sets, so the Return to Ravnica block and the original Ravnica block. As always, I pull off a few options for my patrons over on Patreon. This week it was a tie between Teysa Orzhov Scion and Borborygmos Enraged. Don't always like it when it ends up in a tie because then I have to decide between those two options, and I'm going to have to go with Borborygmos on this one, guys, because I believe I have covered Teysa in previous videos. It's just that it's been so long since I did them, so that was my really only motivation for wanting to do another one. That and Teysa is just such a badass character. I definitely hope we revisit her story, but for now, Borborygmos Enraged I think is going to be an interesting Commander Tips option. So if you're unaware, he is 8 mana, a whopping 8 mana in Gruul colors, 2 red, 2 green in the cost. He's a legendary creature Cyclops, a 7/6 trampler. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you reveal the top 3 cards of your library. You put all land cards revealed that way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. You can discard a land card at any time to have Borborygmos deal 3 damage to any target creature or player. Now I believe if they're going to errata any of these cards, this is going to be an example of one where it'll say any target, so you can also hit planeswalkers with it. It's important to clarify that because you have so many cards that are going to do the same exact thing, like Lightning Bolt. So basically what you want to do is focus on a land theme in Gruul colors, which is pretty easy. The majority of your deck should probably be lands. I want to say at least 40 cards. A 60-40 ratio is usually pretty good with land heavy decks, although I have heard of people going even more than that. I usually, for most of my decks, stick around the 37 mark, and whenever I want to play more lands, I kind of just increase it by a little bit, because you don't understand how big of a difference it is to play with 3 more lands in your deck. But I'm not the expert on playing with the land strategy. I don't really find it that interesting in Commander. I do find Borborygmos interesting, but for the most part, land strategies seem to be just play in excess of lands and then you get more land drops than everybody else. I think that's pretty much how it goes. But that's not really what you want to do for the most part with this deck. I mean, you do kind of want to ramp up aggressively just so you can play your 8 mana commander. But beyond that, you just want to hoard lands into your hand and then just release them all whenever one of your opponents wants to piss you off or make you upset in any way. You can do it in response to creatures attacking you so you can kill them off, or you can just do it to hit planeswalkers. It could be for utility, or you could just hoard a bunch of lands, lightning bolt your opponents to death. Using something like Life from the Loam, a great way to get land cards back to your hand, and you're probably just going to dredge all day, keep getting it back so that you can keep returning 3 land cards. I mean, that's 9 damage every single time you're going to be doing this, so it makes sense. Now, unfortunately, the downside to wanting to do something like this is you're going to end up with a lot of land cards in your graveyard, and you're not going to have too many ways of getting them back, so you're going to want to play something like Creeping Renaissance or Praetor's Council. These, I believe, are 2 pretty good ways that you can get land cards back from your graveyard to your hand. Another really good way to do this is with a cheap creature like Groundskeeper. The more lands you can bring back from your graveyard to your hand means that the more times you can use Borborygmos' ability, and there is a bit of a combo that you can do with the Aura Keen Sense. Whenever the enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you get to draw a card. It doesn't specify combat damage, which is amazing because basically you lightning bolt an opponent, you draw a card, lightning bolt them, you draw a card. Like I said before, your deck should be playing more lands, so pretty much this card and Borborygmos means you're just drawing into more lands, hopefully, and then you get to keep doing this. And 3 life may not seem like a big deal in Commander, but doing this over and over again, it does add up. And unless your opponents are playing aggressive life gain strategies, just gaining an ungodly amount of life with something like a Loro over the course of the game, it's going to make it harder for you to do something like this and actually be successful, but it can work against most decks, I would say. Now, unfortunately, outside of that, the deck doesn't really differentiate itself too much from playing something like Omnath, Locus of Rage. If you've seen me do videos on him, you'll probably be familiar with what I'm about to say. Just extra land drops, additional land drops, aggressive ramp. Land tutors like Cultivate, Kodama's Reach are a must-have in this type of deck. And of course, playing Omnath himself is not a bad idea. Since your deck is going to be mostly lands, it wouldn't really hurt getting additional land drops, or just ways of taking advantage of land drops with landfall creatures like Avenger of Zendikar or Rampaging Baloths. And of course, you are going to be ending up with a lot of land cards in your graveyard. This won't bring them back to your hand, but you will be able to bring them back to the battlefield with Splendid Reclamation or Crucible of Worlds. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck. If you want to build it, I think it's a very fun one, especially in Gruul. It's usually creature or combat based, so going with the land strategy I don't think is too bad either. But yeah, I'll definitely try to do Teysa in the future. For those of you that wanted me to do that, I apologize, but I have made videos about her before. I think at least one of them. I could be wrong, maybe two, but I'm primarily going to be focusing next week on Guilds of Ravnica deck techs and commander tips videos, so look forward to those. We might even get a new Teysa, we might even get a new Borborygmos. That would be hilarious. Getting third versions of both of those creatures I think would be awesome. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it. Become a patron if you want to vote on future commander deck tech, commander tips options. It's a great way to support the channel too. But anyway, Void here signing off. See you all next video. You guys have a wonderful day.